Okay, so the episode kicks off with Suguru, this cool dude who's super hot but also kinda has that chill, depressed, sexy guy vibe. I'm calling it he's definitely a Jujutsu sorcerer, because just check out how well that uniform fits his body. He's casually walking and spilling the tea about his crazy summer, because curses are basically the ultimate workaholics. I guess there really is no rest for the wicked.
NANI?! お前はもう死んでいる。
Then in a dark alley, Suguru encounters a ghoul throwing a feast party on a human. He then whips out his magical technique, sets the ghoul on fire with some blue flames, and just for good measure, he decides to snack on that blue ball. I don't know about you, but that's a seriously messed up technique right there. He then mentions that nobody else knows what curses taste like. Probably worse than trash, I guess. Disgusting! Anyway, our man Suguru gets all philosophical, questioning the very existence of Jujutsu. And just when you think things couldn't get crazier, he bumps into Gojo Satoru. They're a few meters apart in a bustling crowd, giving each other the eye like a showdown waiting to explode. I feel like this is where the scene ends, but the main storyline begins. After all, this episode shows us Gojo's past, giving us a better understanding of what Jujutsu is really like. In another scene, three sorceress buddies chat about this old mansion tied to a rich family. After some crazy homicidal incident, the place turns spooky, making it a hotspot for daring high school and college kids testing their bravery. Rumors fly around, and lately 3 elementary school kiddos vanished near the spooky spot. Thinking they might uncover some mansion secrets while looking for the missing kids, the gals boldly step into the creepy place now covered in wild weeds and bushes. Young Utahime and young MeiMei boldly enter the spooky mansion, only to realize it's just as eerie inside, completely empty except for trash and giving off major haunted vibes. Utahime is standing there like a deer caught in headlights, not sure if she's up for the spooky stuff. On the other hand, you've got me, the queen of all things creepy, strolling in like she owns the place. She hands Utahime a flashlight, which she gratefully accepts. To their surprise, the lights actually still work, and suddenly, everything's bathed in this cool, mysterious glow. Then these two decide to spice things up by splitting up, like in a classic horror movies. I mean, who needs to stick together when you're Jujutsu sorcerers? Utahime is feeling a bit jittery, and she explores her floor alone and finds a room with a hangman's noose. Pretty disturbing stuff. After checking other rooms with no luck, she hears a strange scratching under a bed. Investigating, 3 rats dart out, making her run outside to catch her breath. And just when she thinks the scares are over, Mei playfully startles her by grabbing her from behind. As they start exploring the corridor, MeiMei points out some snacks, soda cans, a backpack, and a random sweater she's spotted multiple times, even though she's been walking in a straight line. She also drew a dark mark on the wall, but it keeps showing up, indicating some weird magic loop that is stuck in. As they keep going in circles, MeiMei suspects a cursed barrier, and Utahime illustrates the loop with snack boxes, suggesting it's not a circle, but a reconstructed straight line. To break free, they decide to dash in opposite directions. Utahime runs right, and as she sprints, the whole construction behind her starts unraveling, nearly collapsing on her. Miraculously, she escapes, and bits of the mansion fly up and form circular marks all around. Suddenly, a man appears claiming he saved them, and that man is none other than our favorite white-haired teacher, and no, it's not Kakashi but Gojo Satoru. Surprisingly, this is a teenage Gojo from way before his teaching days. Turns out he's the one who broke the barrier. Gojo was joking around, teasing Utahime by suggesting she might be about to cry, and just to spice things up, he said that Mei, being a strong woman, wouldn't shed a tear if she were in the same situation. Utahime gets ready to give him a piece of her mind when out of nowhere, a huge curse appears behind her, gearing up for an attack. But don't worry, Suguru rushes to the rescue, summoning a spirit that snacks on the curse like it's an afternoon snack. Utahime is now both embarrassed and angrier than ever. She catches a break when her friend Shoko shows up looking concerned. Utahime, being a Shoko fan, rushes over, gives her a big hug, and advises her not to take after Gojo's mischievous ways. It's becoming clear that teasing Utahime is a recurring theme in this anime.
I don't like that.
Meanwhile, Gojo tells Mei that they've been missing for 2 days by then, leaving Utahime bewildered and Mei wondering if she could double her rate for services rendered.
Nice.
Mei then drops the bombshell question about the veil, or lack thereof, causing surprise among Gojo, Suguru, and Shoko, and of course adding another layer of confusion for Utahime. The trio, all second-year students at Tokyo Jujutsu High School for sorcerers, gets a scolding from their teacher Yaga for going off the rails without supervision. When Yaga demands to know who's responsible, both Shoko and Suguru gleefully point fingers at Gojo. As a result, Gojo earns himself a classic hammer punch to the head. Afterwards, the three pals engage in some playful basketball court antics while delving into deep discussions about curses and their creatures. Suguru passionately argues that inner peace and survival and support of the weakest are the keys to warding off curses. He believes sorcerers should protect the weak and take down the strong. However, Gojo, the rebel of the group, disagrees, asserting that moral arguments like assigning reasons and responsibility to strength is what weak people do, and that Suguru should stop spouting bullcrap to make himself feel better. Shoko quickly catches on to the situation and ditches her legs for wheels, zooming away for a smoke break. Suguru, looking for some action, challenges Gojo to a fight and conjures up a creepy-looking spirit behind him. Gojo is all ready for a showdown and gets interrupted by Yaga's entrance into the gym. Now the two boys have to play nice and pretend to be best friends, which, to be fair, they probably are. Yaga drops a mission on them, ordered by Lord Tengen, the immortal sorcerer in charge of the protective barriers around their Jujutsu high schools. Apparently, the mission involves the holy order and bodyguard duty for this special girl, also known as the Star Plasma Vessel, who for some bizarre reason is stark naked in the briefing plot for reasons of this. Damn! Lord Tengen, though not actually immortal, has the art of immortality, and when he dies, he becomes an even bigger deal due to some mysterious reason. Suguru chips in with the info that when Lord Tengen power is essential for the barriers and techniques around their base to stay active. It's thanks to him that they can pull off their missions and maintain security. However, in a worst-case scenario, if they let Lord Tengen evolve unchecked, he could become a threat to humanity. So every 500 years, they give him a body makeover to keep him in check. Gojo is barely hanging on, seemingly lost in the details. And to be honest, I'm struggling to keep up with all this talk about immortality and curse techniques too. Luckily, Gojo uses a Digimon analogy, and that clears things up a bit. Shout out Digimon. Anyway, the girl from before is apparently the new vessel, and two fanatic groups are after her. Gojo and Suguru's mission is to protect her and escort her to the Heavenly Emperor. While Suguru takes the task super seriously, Gojo remains chill, which understandably irks Suguru. He even asks if arrogant Gojo can handle it alone, but Gojo declines. Little does he know, Suguru is already at the girl's location, and when he rings the bell, a hidden bomb explodes, causing massive destruction to the building. And there's Gojo, casually at the bottom of the building, probably thinking, I'll be where the action is. Classic Gojo move. But Suguru, he's no pushover. He wraps himself up in a rubber ball spirit, ready for whatever's coming. Suddenly, he spots their target, Riko of the Star Plasma Vessel, plummeting like it's the end of the world. Quick thinker Suguru summons spirits that swoop in, saving Riko from certain doom. Enter a man in full military gear, a member of one of the groups mentioned earlier, waltzing into the wrecked room, delivering the classic anime villain dialogue, telling Suguru not to take it personally. Thanks to Suguru's quick thinking, Riko's safe and sound on his flying curse technique. Meanwhile, Bear, another guy in uniform, decides to crank up the tension. He throws a barrage of knives at Gojo, thinking he's testing the waters. But of course, Gojo effortlessly stops every single knife. That's classic Gojo for you. He's got this innate ability to sense when things are about to go down. Just a little advice, Bear. Wait until Gojo claps for you. But Bear isn't done stirring the pot. He's determined to test Gojo's strength and challenges him. Gojo, being cool as a cucumber, warns Bear not to push in too far. Then here comes the plot twist. Gojo throws a deal on the table. If Bear apologizes and sheds a tear, Gojo won't unleash his full power and end him. Bear is clearly insulted and he grows angrier by the second. The tension in the air is so thick, you could cut it with a knife. And in the background, the other group Yaga mentioned is watching the whole spectacle unfold from a safe distance. They're like puppet masters orchestrating this anime showdown. And guess what? They decide to bring in a wild card from the Zenin clan, a formidable fighter, to join the party. The stakes just went through the roof. Hey, you still watching? Don't forget to subscribe and give that like button a good click to get your regular fix of fantastic anime stuff. The episode hit us with a surprise as Fushiguro Toji, the long-anticipated mercenary, finally struts into the anime scene. Coming up next, brace yourself for potential fireworks. Will Suguru pull off a heroic save of 14-year-old Riko? And what's Toji's game plan? Don't hit that exit button just yet. There's more juicy info coming your way. As soon as Season 2 kicks off, it's dripping with style. Geto's gritty entrance sets the mood, and we meet a super fashionable younger Mei and Utahime cruising through a rainy city in a cool black car. The start of our spooky adventure comes from an old-school VHS tape, adding to the aesthetic. Now the show's got a fresh animation style, probably thanks to MAPPA splurging a bit. It's not a total makeover from Season 1, just thinner lines and more attention to detail, making it feel way more cinematic. Kinda reminds me of what MAPPA did with Chainsaw Man, but less shiny. The premiere also throws in some clever 3D animation, making it visually dynamic even if it's not action-packed. And now let's talk about the visual treats, the new opening and closing credits. They perfectly capture the show's vibe with some bombastic visuals. And the best part, the updated art style hasn't taken away from Jujutsu Kaisen's heart. The show still keeps those goofy, expressive moments that fans love. Faces get stretched or warped for laughs, adding to the show's laid-back charm. This episode made me really happy seeing them as cute teenagers, but I can't help but simultaneously be really sad too, knowing what happens later. It's funny because the manga arc also saddens me, but not to this degree. However, if you're avoiding spoilers, just soak in the OP. Because what I really like the most is the OP and ED. It's an absolute gut punch though. Whoever signed off on those deserves an award. I bet it was Yaga, that sadistic cat. They have no right to have such a cheery vibe, only to be insanely depressing once you read the lyrics, or you can just use a dash of media analysis. Like I knew it was gonna be bad, but I didn't expect it to be Hebra goofing around or Gojo and Geto playing arcade games against each other and riding on a bike together levels of bad. Another part that really tugs my heart is the ending theme. While Shoko and Satoru are vibing in most scenes, Suguru seems to be going through it, as if this happened right at the arc's end and Satoru either doesn't realize it or can't reach him. But enough about my musings, I'm eager to hear yours. Are you enjoying this trip down memory lane? Who stole the spotlight for you today? Was it sexy brooding Suguru? Or did ultra-handsome Gojo grab all your attention? What are your thoughts on young Riko's fate? Do you believe mysterious Toji will undoubtedly overpower them? Can you keep up with all the sorcerers and their similar-sounding names? Drop your comments below. Before we wrap things up, let's clear the air. All the clips in this video belong to their original owners. Our aim is to share our passion, have a friendly chat, and ensure everything is by the book. So stick around, fellow anime enthusiasts. Keep that flame of curiosity burning bright and your appetite for anime adventures alive and active. Get ready for our next recap of Jujutsu Kaisen. Before we say our goodbyes, be sure to hit that like button. If you've journeyed with me all the way till the end, don't forget to drop a comment with a kitty cat emoji. This is your anime sensei, signing off.